now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday condemned the killing of 41 persons in a fresh attack in Barene village, Zulmi local government area of Zamfara state. The suspected gunmen had intercepted a vehicle conveying bridesmaids and traders to the community market and killed 40 persons at Barene village. The president, in a statement by the senior special assistant on media and publicity, Galba Shehu, has directed the Minister of Defense, Mansour Dan Ali, to proceed immediately to the state to undertake an on-the-spot assessment of the situation and report back. In addition, he also directed security agencies to immediately mobilize and deploy their members to the vulnerable areas of the state and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to face the full wrath of the law. The president assured the people of Zamfara that the federal government will continue to do all it takes to secure lives and property of all citizens of Nigeria. Meanwhile, Nigerians have reacted to the killings in Zamfara state, noting that if drastic measures are not taken, the killings across the country will degenerate to a full war situation.
It is very unfortunate that the government is trying to curb the so-called Boko Haram and Esme Akomi. In this country, there are laws and constitutions that makes you have the right of security. When you are moving and you are looking at your back, it's terrible. They are enemy of the country. Government should have been trying, honestly. They should just continue in that shape and improve more.
It's a very unfortunate situation. It's not supposed to be heard in this period, in this era, especially the era of globalization. I think what government should do is that to beef up the security, employ more people into the security system. In some cases, you can carry something from more than 30 kilometers. Nobody will check it. Nobody will ask you where you're going. Nobody will ask you where you're coming from. There should be security at every point, because these people that are perpetrating this evil, they came from somewhere and they brought all those equipment there.
If the government wants to take action today, they can wipe out the herdsmen, because the herdsmen are not well trained than the Nigerian army. You can't compare the boats. If it were to be in America, the life of a single American citizen, they would have wiped out the whole of the Fulani herdsmen. But in this case, I would just say our president is being sentimental. The government should stop interfering and allow the armed forces, the police, to do their duties.
It's high time that we all need to come together to make things work right now, because all this killing is becoming more scary and more devastating. The entire world are very, very sick and fed up with it. Just get killed, brutalized just for nothing. Why all this killing? What have they done wrong? So it's high time the government needs to put it to action right now. The Nigeria we know those days, not the Nigeria we are seeing right now. People are just getting killed for nothing, because enough is enough.
The lingering fuel scarcity across Nigeria has become a major source of worry to many Nigerians, especially as the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibeka Chukwu, accused the federal government of failing to address the logistics and policies issues that could end the problem. Those who spoke with us calls for the liberalization of the oil sector as a means of ending the fuel scarcity problem in Nigeria.
It is a complicated issue with regards to Nigerian politics. Everybody wants to shift the blame, and they try to play mind games with people. The Senate, they say, no, it's the presidency. When you go to the presidency, they say, no, it's NNPC. It keeps going round the same circle, and nothing changes simply because the truth has not been told. We're suffering and smiling, so we have not really told ourselves the truth. They said they would raise pump price to 145 and it will be okay. Jonathan was 65. There were protests everywhere. We're at 145. Do we have to get to 500? Before you know it, we're going to Niger to go and buy fuel. And this is an oil-producing country. It's appalling. It's not a good story to tell.
If you want to look at this thing from a multidimensional perspective, you find out that those that handle this thing are not being honest with us. The NNPC now, they say they're not paying subsidy, they're paying subsidy. NNPC doesn't have the capacity to store the petroleum product they're importing. They still need the independent marketers. NNPC are supposed to be a regulatory body. They are not supposed to be the one importing fuel. These people cannot bring enough fuel that will feed the nation. If you go to Lagos and you go to all these depots, some depot that can contain up to 3 million liters of fuel are having maybe 500,000. The only people that can make this fuel scarcity go away is the independent marketers.
The only thing that we can do to let all these independent marketers or this minister to be ashamed is for the presidency to issue individual license for refinery to people that have investor, re-investor, not to be suffering the poor masses, gathering themselves with their children, governing on us. If the government do that now, I can decide to sell my fuel at the rate of 100 naira per liter. I can decide to sell my fuel, and everybody will live fine.
Nigerians who are being confused. Ukachukwu will say this today, the other minister will say that tomorrow. No synergy, and it's affecting all of us. You see, every time we hear of subsidies, it is only the rich there who keep on buying Jeep of 40 million. They build big houses that people don't stay. That is the place our 1 year subsidy is going to.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibekachukwu, had issued a fresh directive to the NNPC to clear the fuel queues at the filling stations before tomorrow, Sunday. The Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Mohamed Bakindo, will be leading other global oil and gas industry leaders to participate in the Nigeria International Petroleum Summit, NIMS. This was disclosed by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibekachukwu, in Abuja. The minister said the summit is designed to attract new investments and showcase the latest technologies that could be adopted for the sectors. He said it will also provide a platform for the international oil companies and other relevant stakeholders to brainstorm on ways to move the Nigerian petroleum sector forward. Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Yakubu Mahmood, has said that the 2019 general elections budget would be ready in 7 days. Mahmood disclosed this in Lagos on Friday. In order to implement the plan, he said the Commission had developed detailed activities and assigned specific responsibilities and timelines for the 2019 general elections under the Election Project Plan. Mahmood urged the resident electoral commissioners to mobilize all members of staff of the Commission to enable them prepared to play their respective roles to ensure the hitch-free general elections. The INEC boss also said that the recent reports of violation by underage persons following the Kano local government election were deeply disturbing. He added that the voter register will be sanitized before the 2019 general elections. In another development, Nigerians have reacted to the amendment of the Electoral Act 2010 by the National Assembly. The new amendment proposes alterations to the sequence of the general elections in 2019 and beyond. It also states that the National Assembly election will be conducted first, but followed by state houses of assembly and governorship elections, while the presidential election will be conducted last. The 2019 general election timetable, as released by INEC, had placed the presidential election first.
It didn't just start now, but in 1999, there was gubernatorial election before the presidential election. Life is a change. I don't really see any political undertone in it. For me, I think it's actually a very good development in the sense that everybody will be on his own. They don't have to attach themselves to the president. And on the negative part, I think the timing is not really proper because everybody thinks they are targeting Mr. President. I think the timing is suspicious, but in all, it's a good thing. If you're popular, you can win election any day, anytime. Since the members of the House are our representatives, and that is what their people want. So they're just doing the bidding of the people.
I have this notion that with this new change, it gives room for more rigging because automatically after every other election, you as the president will have a formal knowledge of which party is stronger and what to do. If your party has lost more posts, you would now probably look for a way to rig your election, rig your way out, and then make your way to the top. But if it's been like before, if you win, you win. So it's like waiting to get the collective result before you do whatever you want to do to maybe break your way in. I don't think it's proper.
I think it will have some effects on this coming election. It's a true reflection that the Nigerian people are up to proper way of practicing democracy.
President Muhammadu Buhari is required to sign the act as amended before it can become law. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has urged the federal government to provide appropriate funding for science and technology for speedy development of the country. National Program Officer of Sciences, UNESCO, Dr. Oshuji Otu, told newsmen in Abuja that adequate funding of science and technology would act as a catalyst to achieving sustainable development in the country. Otu noted that although some donor agencies, such as UNESCO, were involved in funding of some science and technology programs in Nigeria, but the government needed to play its part to support its development. According to him, the programs should also be encouraged from the basis which will transcend to higher levels of education. He noted that Nigeria is still laid back about science, as some schools still lack laboratory equipment for hands-on experimentations for science subjects. It reports say a Libyan returnee, Towa Bola Adebayo, has died at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. Adebayo, who hailed from Ogun State, was among the 5th batch of Libya returnees that arrived Port Harcourt, Rivers State, on Monday night. A statement issued by the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA in Port Harcourt on Friday and signed by its spokesman Sani Dati said the deceased had taken ill in Libya before being brought to Nigeria. The woman was reportedly treated for vomiting, general weakness of the body, abdominal pains, and its associated illnesses before she died. And we now take a short break. We'll be right back. Please to stay with us. Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, a skit on China's biggest Lunar New Year TV show has sparked widespread criticisms and accusations of racism. In a comedy routine celebrating Chinese African ties, an Asian actress appears in blackface and with an exaggerated buttocks. Using makeup to lampoon black people, a practice known as blackface is seen by many as deeply offensive. The annual state media variety show is hugely popular and has up to 800 million viewers. However, this is not the first time Chinese entertainment shows have caused controversy with its portrayals of other ethnic groups. Reports say Zimbabwe's main opposition party is facing the threat of damaging splits just months before a historic election, as fervor erupts after the death on Wednesday of its leader Morgan Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai's final months were accompanied by increasingly public quarreling between his 3 deputies over who would succeed him as head of the Movement for Democratic Change. The party, which has a history of splitting, has been trying to reunite to fight the coming election, but the death of its widely admired founder triggered renewed rivalry. Fresh divisions could mean that President Emerson Mnangagwa and the ruling ZANU-PF face little opposition at the election, which is expected before July. Voters will go to the polls for the first time since Robert Mugabe, who ruled Zimbabwe since 1980, was ousted in November after a military intervention. In sports, reports say the Super Eagles manager Junior Roy will not invite new players to the national team when final preparation for the World Cup begins. The Super Eagles will begin the final phase of preparation for the World Cup next month. Spokesman of the Super Eagles team, Toyin Ibitoye, said Raw has foreclosed the invitation of new players because it would be difficult for him to start working with new legs a few months to the World Cup. He revealed that Raw is currently in Europe monitoring the players and the squad, adding that the Franco-German was working to ensure he assembles a solid team for the championship. He also said that Raw will release the list of players for the tune-up matches next month. And that's the news for this hour. But I'd like to remind you that President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the immediate arrest of perpetrators of Zamfara massacre. INEC says 2019 election budget will be ready in 7 days. On the foreign scene, Lunar New Year Chinese TV gala sparks accusation of racism. And in sports, Super Eagles boss shuts down door against new players in 2018 Russia World Cup. That's the news this hour. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure.